Hey guys, this is Undercover Dudes all the way from Down Under, and today we're going to be talking about the Battle Royale game that has taken the world by storm, and that's called Apex Legends. So let's start out with one simple question, because I think this is a question that many people, including me, initially asked. Why are so many people playing this game? After being away from my computer for the launch and many days after it, all I could see was the player count rise and rise, but there was no explanation for why. I saw the trailer and some gameplay and I was definitely excited, but I've been playing free-to-play first-person shooters for over a decade and covering this niche genre on this channel for almost as long. And if you've seen the failures this genre has put out, such as Combat Arms, Blacklight Retribution, and most recently Quake Champions, you can see why I was apprehensive. But after finally hopping on and playing a very solid amount of Apex Legends, I think I can explain why so many people love this game so soon after its release, and why I think it will be a Battle Royale staple for many years to come. First and foremost, Apex Legends isn't original, and it honestly never strived to be. The objective of this title was never to create a completely different type of Battle Royale game, it was to simply innovate where innovation was needed and therefore create a Battle Royale game that truly anyone could play and enjoy, the pinnacle of accessibility and execution. Respawn Entertainment, the developers of Apex Legends, are amazingly good at producing first-person shooters. These guys created the Call of Duty franchise at Infinity Ward and were part of the team until 2010. That means they were part of Call of Duty 1, 2, Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 2. And then with Respawn Entertainment, they made Titanfall 1 and Titanfall 2. And the level of genre-defining work in those titles can be seen in Apex Legends. Simply explained, they know how to consistently make fun video games, and Apex Legends is no exception. So let's break it down. Apex Legends is a free-to-play, class-based, first-person shooter Battle Royale game with an emphasis on fast-paced combat. Firstly, you select one of 8 heroes, each loosely separated into different classes, and you're joined up with 2 other people in a squad. You then drop into the map from a dropship, loot weapons, kill enemies, and use your abilities, be it your primary or ultimate, until you die or you're crowned the victor. A circle encloses around you and forces the surviving players to move closer and closer, etc, etc, etc. Now none of this is new, but what Respawn Entertainment has gone and done is improved on every aspect of the Battle Royale experience by adding compelling ideas that they have gone and liberally borrowed from other games. But while that might not be original, the art, the mastery comes of how they have gone and expertly combined them together. And that makes Apex Legends not an original game in its components, but put it together, it's a breath of fresh air as it feels like a video game made by gamers. So where do we get started? Well, I think the movement in combat is a good way to kick us off. The way you move in Apex feels fluid, it feels responsive, but it also has a level of weight which keeps you grounded. It's extremely familiar to that of Titanfall 2, and that's a very good thing, given the core mechanics of that title are extremely solid. The gunplay goes hand in hand with this. Weapons have weight behind their bullets and hit with a satisfying clunk. Now despite the somewhat bullet spongy nature of fully armoured opponents, headshots still shred and thus being annihilated in close range is possible. This interplay works fantastically given that being one shot at long range is almost impossible, so frustrating deaths are limited. But there's still the ever-present danger of being decimated by a wingman headshot and having all your armour destroyed. This is the first example of Respawn observing the competition and adjusting accordingly. Dying in PUBG feels frustrating given the insta-gib nature. The armor tune in Call of Duty Blackout is overblown, so it feels like you're playing The Division, but Apex has a particular balance of satisfaction and reprise that is hard to put your finger on. Yes, the balancing does need some work, especially with a wingman and level 3 armor, but overall this dynamic is pulled off well. The higher time to kill goes and opens up many opportunities with the abilities and means that if you're going into a fight, it's not just going to be over in an instant with people being insta-gibbed. Abilities go and open up many potential options for outplay and flanks and a bit more tactical thinking, and overall that type of dynamic is very cool indeed. The next stop is naturally the classes, before we then move into some ingenious additions which streamline the gameplay. Again, the class idea is not original, nor is the way the abilities are set out, nor the characters themselves to an extent, but the way the pieces are put together is fantastic. While Gibraltar has a dome shield and a defensive bombardment, he's slow and thus can be flanked. He gets buffed with Wraith with a dimensional rift, and that can go and get him out of trouble, but he goes and buffs a Lifeline as she can go and utilize that massive dome to go and get off a safe revive. It's not as strict, this legend must play with this legend, so it keeps each squad fresh and fun without getting the frustration of, ugh, he's not following the meta, a problem Overwatch has had since its release. Simply, the legends are fun, add multiple layers of depth to the gameplay, and ensure each match is unique, a breath of fresh air compared to Fortnite and Blackout. Now with that said, the abilities don't overshow the gunplay, so crack shot will always be the best way to victory, but the abilities have significant influence in fights, so careful consideration is required. This system may cause balancing issues in the future, but I feel like this is a worthwhile trade-off given the limitless possibilities each legend provides, which is then multiplied even further with the compatibility between legends. I also want to take this moment to say that Respawn has done a fantastic job with carving out an identity for each legend, similar to that of what Blizzard did with Overwatch. Each legend is a unique individual, easily distinguished not only by their art design and abilities, but also by their voice and personality. This also has an effect in game, as the downtime is filled with the legends commenting on the new kill leader, the upcoming circle, or even the pings just being sent out. It fills the auditory landscape and the visual landscape fantastically, and Apex wouldn't be the same game without it. So now let's move on to the things that makes Apex Legends stand out from the rest, the innovation. Individually, these components don't seem that important, mere borrowings from successful titles, but the fact these have been woven so beautifully together is the reason why Apex Legends is fresh. It makes the experience of actually playing the game so enjoyable that actually winning the match is not a prerequisite for enjoyment, as you're not putting up with layers of looking at you Fortnite with your planes, Deagle and so on. More concisely, the execution scene in Apex Legends is second to none, and is what we've been wanting from other Battle Royale titles, but I'll get into that a little bit later on in the video. So let's get back onto the innovation train. What has Apex Legends got that goes and changes up the Battle Royale game? And the first one is a very big one, the ping system. Now let's not go and kid ourselves, it is from League of Legends, but it is on steroids. It is so functional. It's dynamic, easy to use, and allows you to communicate with your teammates without actually talking. It solves the problem of random squads and ensures that playing with random people is enjoyable as you're all on the same page, which is incredibly important given Apex's class-based nature. This interplays perfectly with the Jump Master, as you can easily ping where you want to go and have peace of mind that your teammates will most of the time be coming with you because whoever's the Jump Master is controlling the drop. It's fantastic. Now most of the time I play games solo. I don't play duos, I don't play squads. The only time I play with other people is like League of Legends. But when I'm playing first person shooters, I play it by myself and I don't talk to anybody. So when I first logged on to Apex Legends and saw that it was trios only, I was a tad worried because I'm just going to go and have people that are headless chickens running around and I'm like, I don't want to go and deal with that. But this ping implementation, it's so good. You can go and communicate really well through the in-game systems. You don't need to go and type, you don't need to go and talk to them. You just ping where they want to go, and most of the time, people know that, okay, this is what we're going to go and do. You can be in agreement without any verbal communication. The fact that the ping system is also done through the characters speaking just makes it so much more functional, as there is barely any text to read. It's straightforward and effective. There is voice chat of course, and that will go and work well in coordinated groups, but with randoms it just isn't needed, and that's a godsend. So let's go more into the gameplay itself. You've gone and dropped down, you've taken out a squad or two, you've looted up and you're ready to go, and you want to go from one town to another. But what's the problem with Battle Royale games that don't have vehicles? Mobility. It simply just gets boring if you're running from one town to another and you're just running and there isn't really much to go and do. It gets boring fast and it goes and takes up time that could be, actually playing the game and shooting people and having fun. So instead of adding problematic band-aid fixes like planes, Respawn Entertainment have added 3 things: zip lines, an upward zip line that redeploys your thrusters, and the crouch slide. The normal zip lines are fantastic. It gets you from one part of the town to the other part very quickly. The upward zip line go and add a lot of risk because you're just going vertically up a rope that's going to take quite a long time. People can go and shoot you down. But if you go and get to the top, your thrusters, they go and redeploy and you can go and cover a massive amount of distance. It's a high risk but high reward type of mobility. But let's say you don't want to go and take the zip lines or the vertical zip lines, but you want to go and get around the map a little bit faster. Well, the slide mechanic is there for you. It significantly reduces the downtime and ensures that you can always be in the action, because if you just go and slide down a hill, you pick up a lot of speed, you zoom into the next town, you just zoom in right into the next fight, and it gets really chaotic really fast. Overall, it's genius, and the fact that it has an uncapped speed limit, that means you can just go and slide down a hill, not take any fall damage because there's no fall damage in this game, and have a ton of fun just zooming. It's like a kid rolling down a hill. Who's not going to go and love it? So overall, ingenious concept, fantastic execution, and overall one of the unsung elements of Apex Legends. The last major component I want to mention is the UI, and by extension the loot categorization, as it makes the game so much more accessible and easy to navigate. Looting is simple and clean, with little of your screen being obscured, while also being quick as upgrades are boldly marked and categorized under different subheadings. It makes looting easy from your first match, and it makes one of the most tedious parts of the battle royale experience a breeze. This fantastic UI work can also be seen with your inventory, as ammo that you don't need is highlighted, which can be dropped with one right click. No need to go and drag and drop, it's all there in a simple but effective manner. The main menu follows the same design philosophy. It's quick and easy to get into matches and also to play with friends, especially as Respawn have made it possible to link with your Steam list, which is crazy that EA would have allowed that, but they have, so you can link with your Steam friends and it just makes things a lot easier. I could go on and on and on, and there's also the little things like the indicator, which goes and shows which of your teammates is firing the weapon or what type of armor they have. The tutorial that goes and doubles up as a training realm so you can go and practice your aim, the lack of fall damage, the subtle bass boom when you enter a new area of high tier loot, the seamless transitions between legend selection screen to gameplay. It just makes life easier and gets rid of the hassle so you can focus on the fun parts of the battle royale experience. But I think you can go and get my point. This is the battle royale game for the masses. So many self-proclaimed battle royale haters are loving Apex, and hopefully now you can see why, but I'll repeat it again. Accessibility, innovation, and execution. So let's go and expand on execution element with the technical performance of this game, because damn it runs well. My gaming PC is more than 8 years old now, with only a graphics card update in between that really hates my processor, so overall I'm getting bottlenecked somewhere, but I can still go and get a decent 80 to 90 FPS most of the time. While I do have my graphics settings quite low, the game still looks really good, so hey, this gets a tick of approval for the low spec guys out there. It's also a very good PC port. Call of Duty year after year gets terrible PC ports, with exception the Black Ops 4 I suppose. But regardless, Respawn has gone and made this game extremely functional on the PC, and that's awesome. Having Call of Duty gameplay on the PC in a fantastic functional format is something that I haven't gone and experienced, because I didn't go and buy Black Ops 4, I bought Black Ops 2, I bought Black Ops 3, and I regret it on the PC. It just did not go and work well. So now we move on to the bane of every free-to-play game, monetization. There was a time many moons ago where pay-to-win was the norm, and free-to-play FPS games were flooded with unfair advantages. But I'm happy to go and announce that Apex Legends is completely fair, with no pay-to-win elements. Now, 2 characters are locked initially, but you can easily earn enough in-game money to buy them, or you can buy them with real-life money. Skins can also be bought with real-life money directly from the store, but it's kind of like a Fortnite store where certain skins are put up and then they're taken down, so you can't just go and select what skin you want to go and buy it. In order to go and try to get everything in the game, you either wait and just buy it day by day, or you go and open loot boxes. People hate on loot boxes, and I get that they're pretty scummy, but they make money and they make it well. It doesn't affect gameplay, I can still get skins from the Founders Pack of the store, it doesn't matter to me. The fact that you can go and get loot boxes from leveling up is pretty sick as well, as you're guaranteed to go and get cosmetics just by playing, compared to Fortnite, which is much more stingy in that aspect. Either model is fine in my opinion. It's just in a free-to-play format, loot boxes don't deserve as much flack as they are getting, because in the end of it, it can go and keep the lights on for Respawn, because so many people go and buy them. They don't affect the gameplay. Yes, it's more of a paywall to go and unlock the cosmetics, but cosmetics don't affect gameplay, and I'm all about gameplay, so if it doesn't go and give you an advantage, then I don't care. Now, yes, it can go and get you, it's a bit of a shortcut to going and getting the 2 new characters, but it's not like these characters are overpowered or you're just missing out on a massive part of the game. You can go and unlock that with like 10 to 20 hours of game time, and then you can go and get both of those characters for free, and then you get the full game for free, which I wouldn't complain. I get why people get really mad with loot boxes in premium games. If I'm dropping $60, I expect my cosmetics to be free, but you know, that's just not what we do now. It's games as a service. You go and buy your skins as you go and play. But dropping $60, $100, whatever, and then even more money as the game goes on, it just seems really, really terrible. And I think more developers are going to be adopting the free-to-play format, because giving the whole gameplay for free and then just saying, hey, if you want to look better, buy this, I think that's a much more consumer-friendly format. The next important component isn't even related to the in-game experience, it's the marketing. As the marketing of Apex Legends is pure genius and I absolutely love it. You look at every Battle Royale game that isn't Blackout, Fortnite, or PUBG. They get flamed to oblivion before it's released simply because it's just another Battle Royale game in a saturated market. Apex Legends never got that early unjustified hate because it launched when it was announced. A free-to-play Battle Royale game that just got dropped on us and it looks really cool. Of course people are going to go and check it out because they went in fresh. They had no expectations and they were just curious. It's the perfect clean slate for a game like this. Then you go and hop in and see that it's easily a AAA game. It's easy to see that Respawn worked on it for 2 years, and this act of a sudden release worked perfectly in their favor in just grasping such a massive player base from day one, simply out of just, okay, we'll go and try it out. So now with people in their game, they could go and show it off to the world. The game design, gameplay, ping system, the fresh take on the Battle Royale genre with the level of execution people have been yearning for from Fortnite and PUBG. Like how PUBG upstage H1 and how Fortnite upstage everything, people are going to be playing the better game, and word traveled like wildfire that Apex was the new kid on the block. Content creators hopped onto this tile insanely quickly because this is what people want to go and play. And Epic tried to go and entice the content creators back with a massive buff to the supporter creator model. But in the end, it's up to Epic to improve their game, because when viewers see their favorite streamers finally having fun with a game and not getting frustrated match after match after match, they can go notice and they will start playing, because if their idols are having fun, then surely they will have fun. Add in the influencer-only marketing campaign, there was no traditional marketing. It was a system where they got Twitch streamers to go and play as soon as it dropped, and damn, it just works so well. Lawbreakers tried to go and do a similar model, but it wasn't when it launched. It was kind of like a staggered approach, and they did it many months before, and the hype just kind of dropped off. But here, it's been really utilized in the best way possible. And with a budget from EA, they could go and get the best streamers, they could go and get the most popular streamers to go and play it, and just flood Twitch. And when people realize it's actually a good game, you've already got that snag. You got the snag on the fish, and they just kept pulling that fish out of the water. Now, with all of that said, however, EA is the publisher. Now, I don't hate EA, I just don't particularly like their business practices, and they're thanking their lucky stars that Apex Legends turned out to be a massive, massive success. However, will they continue to go and treat Apex with respect and lay off the excessive monetization that you can go and see in games like Anthem and FIFA? Who knows? I expect a battle pass and heavy monetization to come soon enough, because it is EA. It is EA, they will go and do it. Even with their fantastic success in publishing Apex, I reckon greed will become a factor, even just a little bit. You can already see it with the loot boxes, but that's EA, that's fair enoug. But I think it's going to be a little bit more. I personally hope this doesn't happen, but EA's past goes and defines them, and looking back at the history books, we can go and have a bit of an inkling that something is coming. Now, admittedly, their stock price did go up 20% when the news of Apex success hit the mainstream, so it could be possible that their investors want them to go in this really consumer-friendly direction. Or it could be that the investors are like, I want more money, more money, I'm not content with the success of Apex in this, passive consumer-friendly approach, I want more, and then EA are pressured to go and put more monetization into the game. Who knows? I'm just going and putting up ideas, but in the end of it, I really hope that it just stays the way it is. They go and release more skins here and there, go and put more characters into the game, more queues, more modes, stuff like that. That would be really cool. Now, of course, with all this praise, there has to be a few things I don't like about Apex Legends, and this list is actually quite short. The first one is the time to kill is a bit too much with max level armor. Level 2 and 3, no problem, but when you go and get that purple armor, oh my god, it takes quite a few bullets to go and take somebody down, and it feels like just a little bit too much. It isn't super excessive like it is in Blackout, but it needs to be turned back. Number 2, the crashing is extremely annoying. I've lost multiple winnable games because I've been just booted from the match because of Origin, not because of the game. The game hasn't gone and crashed, it's because of Origin kicking me out of its party system. I don't know if that's a respawn problem, I don't know if that's, an EA problem, who knows, but a reconnection system could go and help out that significantly. Number 3, the lack of a solos mode is a tad sad. I know playing with other people makes sense given it's a class-based game and all that, but I love knowing that individually I was the best in the lobby if I go and win. So I would love to go and see that soon, and I think just from the pressure of the community that solos and duos will come. But I don't think I think trios is good. Solos is good. I don't think we need duos. I don't think we need 4-man squads. I think just 1 and 3 players would be good. Number 4. Terrible weapons like the hand shotgun need to be removed or buffed. Now, I get that there is a tiering system of sorts, but honestly, meleeing something is better than that gun. I don't even know what the name of the weapon is. It's just so bad, I never go and pick it up. I would rather run around bare-fisted than pick up that shitty hand shotgun. But honestly, other than that, I am quite happy. Obviously, down the line, people go and find broken strategies and things will need to be balanced, but for now, Apex is in a very good state. Now for the elephant in the room. Will Apex survive? Will Fortnite die? What happens next? Simply put, Apex is going to go and shuffle itself in and eat up a nice big portion of the battle royale pie, and that's absolutely fine with me. Fortnite will still be by far the most popular game right now and the most popular battle royale game because it has such a tight grip on the younger generations that Apex just simply can't touch. But with that said, this is a world where there is quite a few battle royale games that are vying for market domination, but they can go and survive with 10, 20,000 people. Look at Realm Royale. So Apex Legends, it's going to be a very top contender, a very hot contender for the next couple months, but Fortnite, it's still going to be there, PUBG's going to be there, Blackout's going to be there, so I really wouldn't worry. They can survive side by side, shock horror. But at the very least, this will go and give a kick up the backside for Bluehole and Epic. They know that the competition has taken their player base and action is needed to go and get them back. This is just going to go and make all these battle royale games better, because to try to go and get the players back, you need to go and improve the game. Improve the game, more money into the game, it makes the title better. So overall, we're just going to go and get better battle royale games. So I'm happy. This is really good. It's really good that Apex is penetrating the ecosystem of the battle royale and really saying that you can go and make it if you go and play your cards right and if your game is better than the rest. Now it's up to PUBG and Fortnite and Blackout to go and rise to the standard which has been lifted. Overall, I've been waiting for an FPS game like this for such a long time, and I'm so happy this game exists. Apex Legends is a video game made by passionate gamers. It didn't go through a beta phase. They have just been testing it in-house for 2 years. Obviously, the people that are playing this game must be really, passionate gamers, because they get this level of quality without a beta. You have to be a good studio, and it's so obvious that Respawn is a really talented studio. They know how to go and make games. It's as simple as that. So in conclusion, when talking about Apex Legends, I want to go and bring up those 3 words again. Execution, innovation, and accessibility. I've been saying it in different orders throughout this video, but I feel like it's the best way to go and sum up this game. Apex Legends, it goes and innovates where innovation is needed. It goes and brings the battle royale formula forward. Its execution is sublime. It's by far the most polished battle royale game I've ever played. But the unsung hero is the accessibility, the tutorial, the way the game goes and has the ping system. It makes it super easy for you to go and hop into this game, even if it's just your first time playing a shooter or first time playing a battle royale game in general. But most importantly, out of all those aspects, this game is just damn fun. And if your game's fun, I don't think much more needs to be said. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to go and subscribe for more Apex Legends videos, because damn, I'm going to be playing this game a lot. But other than that, it's Undercover Dudes all the way from down under. Out.